Hi everyone, my name is Seifan and I'll present Chapter 11, Evaluating Web Content for Self-Directed Language Learning by Yoko Hirata. This chapter explores strategies to promote self-regulation in students using online resources. The chapter highlights a study involving Japanese university students who evaluated language learning websites as part of a self-directed learning project. Their experiences offer valuable insights into how learners critically assess digital content to improve their language acquisition. So let's dive into these findings and their implications for fostering independent learning. I'd like to start by going over a few key terms that will be central to our discussion today. First, we have self-regulated learning, or SRL, which refers to how learners take control of their own learning process by planning, monitoring, and evaluating their progress. Next, we talk about data-driven language learning, or DDLL, which involves analyzing real-world language data from online sources to improve language skills. We will also mention autonomy, which is the learner's ability to manage their learning independently, and website evaluation that refers to how students assess the quality and usability of websites for learning purposes. It is also important to consider the cultural context in this discussion. In Japan, education has traditionally been teacher-centered, meaning that the instructor directs most of the learning process. This can make introducing self-regulated learning a challenge. Japanese students are generally not used to taking full ownership of their learning, which can create obstacles when using web-based resources that require a high level of autonomy. However, there is a growing shift towards self-regulated and autonomous learning, especially in the context of language acquisition. Self-regulation involves students taking responsibility for planning, monitoring, and evaluating their learning. This transition poses some challenges, especially for students who are used to a more guided educational approach. Okay, so what is data-driven language learning, or DDLL? It's an approach to a foreign language learning. Whereas most language learning is guided by teachers and textbooks, data-driven learning treats language as data and students as researchers undertaking guided discovery tasks. Let's give it a try. Here are three sentences that use the word have in different ways. I have a book. We have been waiting. I have to go. As a student using DDLL, your task would be to observe how the word functions in each sentence and hypothesize about its different uses. In doing so, you gain a deeper understanding of language patterns. The study in this chapter examines a website evaluation project where Japanese university students used self-directed language learning methodologies. The goal was to see how students engaged with English language websites and whether this self-directed approach made a difference and helped them take control of their language learning process. The study compared two different self-directed learning projects. One was the research-based evaluation project. This group of students combined data-driven language learning with website evaluation. This approach encouraged the students to delve deeper into language patterns and enhanced their language awareness. The other one was the non-research-based evaluation project. This group focused only on evaluating ESL or EFL websites without the additional language data analysis part. While it was still useful, it offered limited insights into language usage. In the research-based project group, the students used a computer program called Lex as a concordancer tool to analyze language data. As you can see in Figure 1 from the chapter, this is an example of a student's search result of the word have. You can pause the video and try to read some of the sentences. Do you notice any patterns? This data-driven approach gave students the opportunity to act as language researchers. This way, they were able to observe patterns in authentic texts and draw their own conclusions. It promoted a deeper understanding of the English language and fostered critical thinking skills. So going back to our research, in your opinion, which students were able to develop a deeper awareness of the language and improve their independent learning skills? Yep, the findings showed that students in the research-based project developed a deeper awareness of language use and became more autonomous learners. So let's summarize the key findings and challenges from the study. First, we observed an enhanced language awareness through DDLL, or data-driven language learning. This approach has shown to deepen students' understanding of language patterns and usage. Second, the study demonstrated an improved ability among participants to evaluate website usability. This skill is crucial in today's digital age, enabling learners to critically assess and navigate online resources more effectively. Last, they found a notable increase in autonomy and responsibility in learning. Students engaged with DDLL showed greater initiative in their studies and took more ownership of their learning process. While the study revealed significant benefits, they also encountered several challenges that are important to address. Initially, many students struggled with self-directed tasks. The shift from traditional learning methods to a more autonomous approach wasn't always smooth. They also found a persistent need for instructor guidance. Despite the goal of increased student autonomy, teacher support remained crucial, especially in the early stages. Overcoming the reliance on teacher-centered methods proved to be a significant hurdle. Many students were accustomed to passive learning and found it challenging to take a more active role in their education. I'd also like to highlight 3 takeaways from the study. First is that self-regulation is key to lifelong learning, extending far beyond just language acquisition. The skills students developed through this process, such as setting goals, managing time, and evaluating their own progress, are invaluable across all areas of learning and life. Second, the study showed that data-driven language learning, or DDLL, empowered learners to become independent and critical thinkers. By engaging directly with language data and making their own discoveries, students developed analytical skills that extend beyond the language classroom. Last, despite the emphasis on learning autonomy, we learned that teacher guidance remains essential in fostering this independence in students. The role of the instructor evolved from being a mere transmitter of knowledge to a facilitator who guides students toward autonomous learning. These takeaways underscore the transformative potential of DDLL in education, while also highlighting the ongoing importance of skilled instructors in the learning process. As we conclude this presentation, I encourage you to reflect on these questions. How can we implement self-regulation strategies in different educational contexts? Our study focused on language learning, but consider how these principles might apply to other disciplines or level of education. And what role should technology play in promoting autonomy? While we explore data-driven language learning, think about how other digital tools could foster independent learning without creating over-reliance on technology. These questions invite us to expand our thinking and explore new frontiers in education. I encourage you to share your thoughts, experiences, and ideas in the discussion forum. Your insights could spark valuable discussions and help us all gain new perspectives on these important topics. Thank you for watching this presentation. I look forward to reading your comments and engaging in further discussion on these exciting educational possibilities.